Another Monday, we're talking all things KC with our 50-50 elected mayor, Mayor Quentin Lucas. Unfortunately, two young women, 24-year-old Tishuana Ballard and 29-year-old Eboni Silas, they lost their lives in an overnight shooting inside a Kansas City nightclub, Mayor Lucas, and two others were wounded. Kansas Cityans are tired of waking up to this kind of violence, especially in places where people go to feel safe and enjoy themselves and have fun. What is the latest information you can share about this case? And beyond the investigation, Mayor Lucas, how is the city responding to prevent another tragedy like this from happening in our nightlife spaces?
First of all, I grieve for the victims. As we learn more about them, we're going to learn about how wonderful they were and the impact this is having on broad-based communities. I heard about this shooting at about 4:30 a.m. on Sunday morning, and I first wanted to say not again. It seems like every year we have a nightclub shooting like this. First of all, the law enforcement governmental response is going to be as follows. We investigate to see what rules were not followed, what types of actions need to be taken, and we enforce where we need to make sure everybody's safe. But there's going to be a broader impact of this, which is how do we make sure that people know not to bring guns to nightlife spaces, that we make sure the crowds aren't just hanging there forever, and that where there is some sort of issue, people move on. There was a Jackson County off-duty sheriff's deputy who was there. I believe they had security, at least at some of the establishments nearby. That's how we got the call in the first place. But at a certain point, it's going to be folks using their own sense. Whatever fight, whatever beef you're getting into doesn't make any sense. And I'll tell you this, how many more people, typically innocent people, and it sounds like that's the case here, need to die because two fools are shooting back and forth at each other and don't realize that there are dozens or hundreds of other people around. You know, we'll try to do everything we can do from the government side and all of that. But, you know, people got to take some self-control of their own emotions. Don't bring your gun to the spot. Don't fire. And I'll tell you something that I've learned in life, too. You got to walk away. Walk away if it's a fight in a club. Walk away if it's a fight in your marriage or your relationship, because that's another issue. You got to know to get some space from something so we don't see tragedies like this again and again.
Mayor Lucas, you recently unveiled the $2.5 billion budget for KCMO. There's an increase in KCPD's budget. And of course, it has some of our cousins a little bit nervous and just concerned. Can you give some clarity on this decision and how it will positively affect our cousins out there?
You know what I think I'll say about this is I hope it does. I hope it does. We're going to, we have this interesting relationship with our state-controlled police department, over which I think we have not all the accountability that we would otherwise like, which is that, they're hiring more people. They're hiring new officers. I think they're hiring good officers. And one way that I think we address the way things work is making sure we get more people from the community. And time and again, I ask them to make sure they do that. They are doing more of that. We have I believe, our highest recruiting class since 2007, hired recently. For me, it's about personnel. It's about getting personnel paid. I don't think that means you turn a blind eye to issues that need to improve. I don't think it's that you ever turn a blind eye to accountability, but I'm gonna be real with the community. People, when they call 911, want an answer. People want to make sure the person who answers is respectful of them, and in some situations, frankly, looks like them. And I think that's what we're going to try to do to make sure we have a modern police department. And so while there are issues, while we need to get the lawsuits cleared out, while we need to address, I think, more issues on the command staff level, the senior people, I'll make sure we can pay our rank and file officers what they need to be on the streets and to serve our community.
We're talking all things KC with our 50-50 elected mayor, Mayor Quentin Lucas. Now, I'm excited about the future of 18th and Vine, a $35 million expansion for the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, a $3.2 million renovation at the Jazz Museum, the Black Movie Hall of Fame coming in 27, and big upgrades to the Vine itself, Mayor Lucas. Kansas Cityans love the culture. How do you make sure that this isn't just cosmetic improvement, but that 18th and Vine truly becomes a strong economic engine for the East Side, creating real jobs, Black business growth, and generational wealth for the people who live over there?
I'm going to steal a line from Councilwoman Melissa Patterson Hasley, and I know it 100%. So when do you stop fixing up your house? Do you just fix your house one day in like 1985 and let it just get raggedy for the next 40 years? No, no, you keep working on it. You get a new stove, you get a new refrigerator, you do all this stuff, you paint up your house, you do what you need to do to keep it better. So I couldn't be prouder of 18th and Vine. As you know, as many know, I lived in that area for a long time. I love living there. I love waking up and being among the culture. So much of being a Black Kansas Citian is often feeling like you need to leave your community, that you need to spend your dollars somewhere else, that you need to carve out the little space in Westport or in Power and Light or wherever where your people can be. What I love about 18th and Vine is that it is truly ours. It doesn't mean that everybody else isn't welcome. I love them. I bless them. I love to see everybody spending money around there. But I am proud of Bob Kendrick and an expanded Negro Leagues Baseball Museum telling the story of our community. I'm proud of an American Jazz Museum that gets to step up not just as a museum space, but hopefully and increasingly as an entertainment space. And we got to be real about it. The Gym Theater, we need to put more investment in to make sure it's
Facts.
the type of entertainment space that can actually get real shows. You can't have people sitting in an old auditorium where there's dust on the seat. And this is no disrespect to them, by the way, but we got to make sure we're spending where we need to. So, Black Movie Hall of Fame, which Brother Sean Edwards, everybody has words with me sometimes, but I love what he's doing on it. I mean, I think this is going to be good. I think this makes us different. And let me just be real about Kansas City. Why is Kansas City, Missouri special? Why aren't you just going to, I don't even know if they exist, whatever the comedy club was out in Overland Park or wherever else, all the other spots. We are special because of our culture in the city, not just because we're bigger. We need to, I think, invest in that repeatedly. That's what we're doing as long as I'm around, which won't be forever. We're going to keep investing in it.
That's right. And this is the show that represents Kansas City culture through and through, unfiltered, baby. Thank you so much, Mayor Lucas. We will holler at you next Monday. Please continue to be a blessing.
All right, everybody, stay safe. We'll see y'all.